So I've been running heaps of these seminars, and what I wanted to do was take you through some of the questions that I've been getting. We recorded the first lot a little while ago. You'll notice the yellow shirts. Well, I've got a pink shirt on today. So we've got about 25 questions to get through. And you can watch them. They'll be separate videos, so watch them each as you go along. But guys, any questions you've got from the webinars, or any questions you've got in general, if you email them through to me, just send them through to info@ypc-group.com. And what I'll do is I'll actually record a video response, so you get the answer in video as well as putting a blog together. Because one of the fundamentals of building a property portfolio is actually getting really good education. If you can do that, then you can confidently move forward. And that's really what this is all about. This is what this education series is about. It's why I'm in front of the video so often, is because I want to get that education out there. Okay guys, so for my next question, it's one of my favourite subjects, which is, no money down. Are they actually genuine deals? Can you actually do them? Now look, it's one of these things where, let's just step back from it. Can you do them? Yes, you can, okay? You can do them, you can get away with them, but that's not the real question. The real question is, a no money down property, how does it stack up against something that you're putting money in and doing it the normal way? Now, first of all, it depends on the property. You can get perfectly good no money down properties, okay? Look, we're not someone that does them, okay? And I stay away from that because I've seen the destruction in the UK and also Australia that sort of regime does. It attracts the type of people who haven't got fiscal discipline, who don't know how to save, who have debts, and they think that by owning property that they're going to get out of this. The fact is, if you've got an issue around fiscal discipline, that's going to be carried forward into your property, and then before you know it, you're now stuck with that property, and normally it's not going to have the equity in it. Look, no money down in the UK, pretty much without fail, okay? If you do it, what happens is, if that's the actual value, what happens is that's the value they'll put it up, and that's what you buy it for, So you end up with 100% mortgage effectively, and therefore you're sitting around for that 2 to 4 years before anything can be done with that property. Now, there's exceptions, and some exceptions, great, you can do stuff with. But if that's the sort of regime you want to work under, look, I'm sure there's companies that still do it. For the most part, it's mortgage fraud. The way they're going to get around that, and don't believe what they say. The fact is, speak to any solicitor, any reputable solicitor, okay, and ask them, no money down, is it possible to do it in the UK? And they will say, absolutely not, it's mortgage fraud. And there's something like 1,900 cases of mortgage fraud on the serious fraud officers that basically they're waiting for, okay, the resources or whatever to investigate them. Does that mean if you do one, you're going to get caught? No, it doesn't. Who knows, okay? But the fact is that for the most part, the type of companies that are doing them, they're not reputable companies. The type of companies or the type of properties they're getting, they're not the type of properties that have good solid fundamentals. The shops, schools, transport links, major employers, major investments. Okay, so you've got to really ask the question, and the question really comes back to this: why are you wanting to do no money down? Is it because you don't have the capital available, or is it because you have the capital available and you think that if you can do it with no money down, great? Okay, because the principle of no money down, I don't have a problem with. Okay, and what I mean by that is that if you can get into your property and get your money out in a short amount of time and still have a property that is going to return you the returns that you want, make your return on investment, great. Okay, but it's a stretch too far to think that now you're going to have a solicitor who's going to lie because somebody along the line has to lie, and it's normally the solicitor, or has to turn a blind eye. Now, it's very hard to turn a blind eye these days. The fact is, I think if the Solicitors Regulatory Authority looked into it, that solicitor would be disbarred. So you've got to ask yourself, is that the type of people that have that sort of short-term thinking where they're in, make the commission and get out? Is that the sort of people you want to deal with? Is that the sort of people that you're going to build a long-term relationship? Is that the sort of people that are going to be here long-term? Probably not. Okay, if you're going to go for this, the whole basis of property investment and being a professional in property investor is doing lots of research, picking the property, okay, second guessing everything. Don't listen to salespeople, don't believe a word they say, second guess, third guess, all that sort of stuff. And if you do that, then you're probably going to end up with a property that's good, that's going to return, that's going to actually get a rental return in a good area, an area that's up and coming, all these sort of things that are going to mean that your investment is, you look at it and go, I'm really happy I bought that. And that's really what we want. And to build a portfolio, we want something that approximately every 2 years, sometimes it'll stretch out, sometimes it'll be 6 months, okay? But on average, every 2 years, we can look to remortgage and take some money out if that's what we want, and that's what we need to do. Sometimes you don't. You know, some of my properties I haven't remortgaged for years, you know, and yet when I go back to, say, 2005, I was remortgaging them every 6 months, okay? So, guys, that's sort of, you know, with no money down, look, you know, be very careful, because for the most part, the type of companies, they're just, you know, quick commission, sales, you know, all they're after is the sale. They're not after a long-term relationship. They're not after to build a portfolio. They want to get in, get out, and I've seen so many of them come, make lots of money in commission, and then they fall over. And what ends up happening, then they open up 6 months later because their reputation's ruined here. Of course, they open up again, do exactly the same thing, and they just keep doing that. And what they're after is the quick buck. Well, if that's the type of people you want to deal with, you know, really ask yourself. And I'm sure deep down, you know that's not the sort of relationship you want. You want to build it up slowly, safely, securely, you know, just as it's meant to be, because that's really how you build long-term wealth. Okay, guys, have a great day, and remember, live with passion.